Harper One and HarperAudio present I Am Here, The Journey from Fear to Freedom by Ashley LeMieux. This is the author. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/I am here. It contains the journal questions and follow-up questions for you. It will be referred to throughout as the enhancement. Introduction. All I wanted to do was run. After a long court battle that spanned most of our late 20s, the children my husband, Mike, and I had been raising as our own were returned to their biological family. Home was empty without them. Life was empty without them. And distance seemed like the only respite. We booked a flight to Italy 3 weeks after they left us. I was insistent that we go, sure that the farther I went, the faster I went, the less pain I would feel. I believed a lie. If I was moving forward. If I was going, I was growing. I believed that I could and should outrun my pain, but by refusing to feel it, all I was doing was running in place. 3 days into our trip, I sat down in the middle of a square in Florence and found myself next to a mom and her daughter. They were eating chocolate eclairs from the same bakery that Mike and I had already stopped at several times over the course of the previous days. The smell of the dough and sugar made it impossible to ever pass it by. It was spring, so all the shop doors were wide open, the air was brisk, and the sun invited us to stay outside until it got dark. The cobblestone streets felt like someone had put us right into the middle of a movie scene, and I had been doing my best to soak it all in. I was brought back to reality when suddenly the little girl shrieked. In her tiny palm, she held a tooth the size of a sesame seed. Obviously, the first she had lost. They giggled and hugged and twirled. I'd lived that moment with my own daughter, and I watched them, knowing I would never live another moment with my daughter like it again. The memory hit hard, and my stomach lurched. I didn't want to be in that moment anymore. I wanted to escape. I got up and sprinted down crumbling alleyways, shaded by clotheslines, and past terrazzos, filled with packs of tourists eating gobs of gelato. I dodged scooters and sightseers. I got lost. That day, I finally realized that pain is something you can't outrun. No matter how fast or far I went, I wasn't really moving forward. I was stuck, and I had been stuck for a long time. The feeling accompanied me wherever I went, even if my body kept moving. It hung like an invisible cage over me, as if I were in a maze without a real way out. I felt confused and powerless. I'd stopped trusting myself to make decisions, wondering if I was actually going anywhere, and if I was, if I even wanted to be there. I felt bruised from banging my body against the same brick wall of pain, not knowing how to get my life around the immovable force that had me trapped. Feeling stuck is the torment of unlived dreams, unanswered prayers, and a deeper underlying fear that life will stay that way forever. Right outside the Duomo, I stopped. With tears running down my puffy cheeks and sweat dripping down my back, I threw my hands up in the air and screamed to the city, "I am here! I am right here!" I heard my own voice ricochet off the old stone building, and for the first time in ages, I felt its power. It alarmed me at first. I hadn't heard my voice for so long, and I was uncertain if I was even allowed to feel the newfound strength that was tingling throughout my body. I'd forgotten about the girl buried inside of me who was so full of life, and I was surprised that she was still in there. I decided to test it again, and yelled, from the deepest.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?